Good day, dear viewers. My name is Scott Schamber, and I'm the Managing Director of Global Gold in Switzerland. We're here at the halfway point of the Future of Gold conference organized by Mr. Brecht Arnaert, Editor-in-Chief of MACROtrends in Belgium. We're sitting here with Brecht. Brecht, where do you think we are here at the halfway point of the conference so far? How do you feel?
Well, I feel great. I think it has been a spontaneous happening, a lot of info, but also a lot of interaction between people, which also is very important, and good speeches. I like the speech by Diederik Schmull a lot, because he is bullish on the dollar, which is not a common thing among gold owners, but I do think it's important to listen to the contrarian views.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things I really like so far too is that we agree that we can disagree. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times you go to a conference and a lot of emphasis is put on, hey, this is how it's got to be, and this is the direction we're going. And I really think that it's really open, and it's good for the public too to see that everybody can have different opinions.
Yeah. Like this afternoon, we will have Dimitri Speck on, which is an absolute expert on gold manipulation. And last night I disagreed with him on pretty much everything, but you know, that's what's keeping the debate alive. Now, one topic I wanted to talk to you about is a confusion that I notice in the community of gold owners. Mm-hmm. And that is about the nature of deflation. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a very important debate to understand why gold in any scenario will be a good solution. Most people understand inflation. That is simple. You have a liter of milk and you add a liter of water, so you have 2 liters of milk. But the nutritional value per centiliter drops, okay? So that is clear to most people. But then for some reason, deflation is like this strange concept that nobody really gets. So I have been thinking about the same clear image that you could use to explain it. And that would actually be the sun making the milk dry up again. Mm-hmm. So first you have inflated it with water, and then it deflates again, it becomes thick again. Yeah. So one simple question, would you be willing to drink that milk?
I would want to add more water.
Well, that would be one solution to dilute the bad taste. Mm-hmm, but exactly. The essence is that deflation leaves a bad taste. And what is this bad taste? Non-performing loans, of course. Mm-hmm. So that is deflation. And most people tend to think, well, prices go up, that's not deflation, because they confuse the consequence of deflation with the act of deflation. Mm-hmm. The consequence of deflation is indeed a generally rising, lowering price level. But the act of inflation is the loans that fail. Mm-hmm. And so what we are seeing now in Europe is an enormous under pressure, a deflationary under pressure, that Draghi is trying to counter with re-inflation, like you say, adding new water to the milk. And of course, if you have to bake a cake with normal milk, it will be a good cake. Mm-hmm. But if you have to bake a cake with diluted milk, well, the nutritional value of that cake is nothing. So what are we doing? We are consuming historical capital. That is the big problem in Europe. Young people who are trying to buy or build a home, they borrow at the bank, but they also use money from their parents. So we are literally consuming capital from other generations. And so what I see happening is a Japanese scenario for Europe. Mm-hmm. So that was one thing I wanted to put clearly in the books. Deflation is a very important force to understand.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the end game for us today? I mean, when is the end game, and where is it? What are going to be the real signs that what is hitting the fan?
As I said in my presentation, I think problems will not start in China, will not start in the US. I think they will start here, in the old continent. Europe is a political union, but a very loose one. They are trying to strengthen it. But what we see nowadays is a growing what they call populism. I call them truth movements. You have the True Finns in Finland. You have Alternative für Deutschland in Germany. You have Vox now in Spain. You have the Brexit movement. You have the Gilets jaunes, the yellow jackets. So these are all forces going away from the center And the European Commission is trying desperately to build this European culture, and it doesn't work. And so, as Diederik has emphasized, the most important thing when it comes to the monetary system is the confidence in it. Japan has more than 300% government debt, but the confidence is still there culturally. Argentina had 47% of debt, but the confidence was gone. Yeah. So it has nothing to do with figures. It has to do with the manipulation that people are willing to accept.
And what's the confidence level right now in Europe? I mean, where are we? Are we critical? Or?
It's not yet critical. I think things go much slower than we think. But if you look decade-wise, if you look like 2008, if I would have said, you know, the media is manipulating us, there are false flag attacks to induce fear so that people, you know, would be happy with what they have and not think about revolution, or this big word, okay? But now, if you say the same things, you notice that public opinion is very much more aware that politicians do not rule, it's the central bankers who rule, and the politicians are servants. And that is called populism. Well, I think there's a grain of truth to that.
Yeah.
So I think this conference comes at a time which is pivotal. In May we will have the European elections. Let's see what happens.
And the people are definitely interested. You know, I noticed that even when I gave my presentation, I mean, I know it was already a bit of a long morning. People were a little bit hungry, but they were hungry for information.
Also,
you know, still, which is great. And I heard a lot of positive feedback from people. And I just think this second part is going to be just as interesting to give people actionable things they advice that they can leave here with and start working and preparing for these things.
Yeah. So with that, I think we can go to lunch.
All right, good deal. Brecht, thanks a lot. Thank you for allowing us to sponsor, Global Gold to sponsor your event. It's been a great experience and great to meet you too.
Yeah.
And thank you, viewers, and enjoy the rest of your day.